Good afternoon, and thank you for having us. The maritime industry is undergoing a significant transformation with the aim of achieving net zero emissions by the mid of this century, driven by evolving regulations and increasing commercial pressure. This represents both a major challenge and a significant opportunity. But how can we turn compliance into a competitive advantage? To help answer this important question and support the maritime energy transition, DNV and the World Maritime Merchants Forum ESG team last November collaborated to publish the Net Zero Guide, Practical Approaches for Global Shipping Companies. This guide provides a structured roadmap for decarbonization, offering actionable steps for ship owners to align operational and investment decisions with international and regional regulations. It addresses the complexity and cost of compliance, outlines cost effective actions such as energy efficiency upgrades, phased fuel transition, and targeted fleet renewal or retrofits, and emphasizes embedding decarbonization into core business strategies. The guide also highlights the importance of competence development, change management, and leveraging partnerships across the value chain to enhance transparency and unlock long term efficiencies. I am very pleased to be joined today by Mr. Wang Yongxin, the president of China Merchants Energy Shipping, in short CMES, who will help us to understand how these principles translate into practical steps and how decarbonization can become a source of resilience and commercial value. Good afternoon, Mr. Wang. Welcome and thank you for joining us today to share your insights.
Thank you for the invitation. It is an honor to be here with industry leaders and experts. Decarbonization is reshaping the industry. It is great to have this platform for deep dialogue.
Let's start with the big picture. The push towards net zero is reshaping almost every part of global shipping, and companies are navigating the fast moving mix of regulations and commercial expectations. How are evolving regulatory frameworks and commercial pressure shaping the maritime industry's approach to decarbonization? Based on CMES experience developing the Net Zero Guide, what key insights and practical steps can companies take to stay ahead of these changes?
That's a great place to start. What we are seeing across the industry is that the shift towards decarbonization is speeding up. Regulatory requirements and commercial expectations evolve at the same time. Global policies such as the EMO's strengthened GHG strategy and regional mechanisms like the EU ETS and the FUU Maritime are introducing new obligations. These requirements directly influence operational planning and cost structures. Also, charterers, cargo owners, and financiers are raising expectations around carbon performance. Decarbonization is no longer a compliance exercise. It has become a strategic driver of long-term competitiveness. Through our exchanges with industry peers, we learned that many companies recognize the urgency but lack a clear, actionable roadmap. Our vision is that effective transition planning must be begin with a precise review of regulatory risk in two directions: fleet constructions and operational management. Companies need to plan ahead based on how new rules will impact their future fleet and business models. They must advance short-term adjustment while introducing alternative fuels and new technology in phases within their long-term planning. By doing so, companies can not only meet regulatory requirements, but also strengthen their competitive position in a market where sustainability increasingly drives commercial decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Wang. That really helps set the theme. It's clear that while the pressure to act is increasing, there's also a real opportunity for companies that take a structured, forward looking approach. Let's build on that and look at how this translates into concrete planning across the fleet. Many companies tell us they understand what they need to do, but struggle with how to break it down into manageable steps. With that in mind, what would you say are the most effective ways for shipping companies to assess their current emissions profile and translate decarbonization objectives into actionable strategies across short, medium, and long term horizons?
From our experience, the most effective approach is to view decarbonization through a full life cycle lens and include it into fleet development from the earliest design stage to daily operations. At the CMES, we have been practicing this approach in recent years by integrating lifecycle decarbonization planning into our building, retrofit, and commercial management projects. This allows each vessel to start with carbon tracking and continue to optimize it throughout its operational life. In short term, a structured management framework, we would start with using high quality data and scenario analysis to review current emissions profile. From there, we develop a phased roadmap that spans short, medium, and long-term scale. In the short term, focus on operational improvements and energy-saving devices that deliver quick wins. Medium-term strategy should include preparing for fuel flexibility and retrofits, while long-term plans align fleet renewal with life cycle decarbonization goals. Governance is critical. Set clear KPIs, monitor progress, and adjust as regulations and technologies evolve. This structured approach ensures that investments are cost-effective, compliance is maintained, and the fleet remain competitive in a fast-changing environment.
That is a great breakdown, and I think many in the audience will appreciate how you've linked day to day initiatives with long term fleet strategy. Now, of course, even the best plan needs practical actions behind it. So let's talk about what can be done right now with today's technology. There's often a perception that meaningful decarbonization requires major fuel shifts, but in reality, a lot can be achieved through smarter operations and targeted upgrades. So, which operational measures and technical upgrades offer the greatest potential for immediate efficiency gains? And what additional technologies will be key to accelerating fleet decarbonization?
Good question. And that's why we are working to bring shipping peers together through activities like this to facilitate the exchange among global shipping peers. We believe there are many things that company can do right now. These actions are practical, quick to start, and directly reduce costs under requirements like the EU ETS. On the technical side, upgrades such as energy-saving devices offer strong returns, especially when timed with scheduled maintenance. Companies should prioritize measures based on cost and regulatory impact, starting with those that deliver the greatest reduction in carbon intensity and compliance costs. So found that increasingly digitalization and intelligent fleet management systems are becoming critical enablers. high-quality emissions monitoring, AI-supported voyage optimization, and digital twins allows companies to make more accurate, real-time decisions. This technology also creates the data foundation needed for future fuel transition and regulatory compliance. By combining operational management, planned technical upgrades, and advanced digital tools, shipping companies can achieve meaningful progress to decarbonization without waiting for major fuel transitions.
Interesting points. What really stands out is how much progress is possible using solutions that are already available, especially when digital tools are integrated in a thoughtful way. And that brings us naturally to the future. Because while companies work on today's improvements, they also need to be ready for what's coming next. Looking ahead, technologies, views, and regulatory expectations will all continue to evolve, sometimes faster than expected. What are the key priorities for shipping companies as they navigate to the next phase of the net zero transition? And what practical advice would you offer to the industry?
Looking ahead, I think it is clear to all of us that the pace of changing in regulations, technologies, and market expectations will only speed up. For shipping companies, the next phase of the net zero transition will require not only technical solutions, but also strong organizational capability. As new digital systems, alternative fuels, and smart technologies become more widely adopted, companies will face new operational and safety challenges, ranging from data reliability to crew readiness. My core message is this: invest in your people as much as you will invest in your ships. Strengthen capability across operations, technical management, and commercial teams so they can manage new compliance demands and operate a more complex fleet with confidence. At the same time, no company can transition alone. Industry-wide collaboration, sharing lessons, and partnering across the value chain is critical to scaling results and reducing uncertainty. The priority now is clear: building capability, adapt new technology, and collaborate with the value chain. Companies that do this will not only stay compliant, they will lead in a market where performance, safety, and sustainability are defining competitiveness.
Thank you, Mr. Wang. Your insights really highlight that decarbonization is not just a technical challenge, but an organizational journey, one that rewards companies that build capability, collaborate widely, and stay agile as the landscape changes.
Thank you for your invitation. I'm glad to share my opinions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today.